Hey everyone, if you're over 50, you know how important it is to take care of your heart, but it can feel like a guessing game, can it? You try your best to make healthy choices, but you're still worried about what's secretly putting you at risk. It's frustrating, and you just want to know what to eat and what to avoid, without all the confusing information. Well, you're in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which common foods are secretly sabotaging your heart health, and you'll walk away with simple, delicious swaps you can make today. This information is referenced from reputable sources like the American Heart Association and the Mayo Clinic, and I've put all the links in the description below for you. So let's get into it. All right, first up, let's tackle a big one. You've probably heard that you need to avoid all fats to be healthy, right? Well, the truth is a bit more complicated than that. Not all fats are created equal, and your body actually needs some fats to function. Think of it like this. Some fats are like helpful allies for your heart, while others are like enemies. The good fats, the ones you want to be friends with, are monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. These are found in things like olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, and even fatty fish like salmon. These fats can actually help lower your bad cholesterol and support your heart health. So, you don't have to cut out all fat, you just gotta choose the right kind. Now, on the flip side, you want to limit saturated fats. These are the ones that are usually solid at room temperature, like butter, cream, and high-fat meats. Health experts advise keeping these under 10% of your daily calories. And then there are the absolute worst kind of fats, trans fats. These are purely harmful. The FDA has banned most artificial trans fats, but some products might still have trace amounts. The way to know for sure is to check the label for partially hydrogenated oil. That's a sign that trans fat is present. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But what if you're short on time? Well, the third tip is designed specifically for that. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share next can make a huge difference. All right, let's talk about a super simple change you can make today that will have a big impact: cutting back on hidden salt. You see, over 70% of the sodium Americans consume comes from processed or restaurant foods. It's sneaky because it's in foods that you might not even think of as salty, like canned soups, deli meats, and frozen dinners. All that extra salt makes your body hold on to extra water, which raises your blood volume and blood pressure. Over time, this really puts stress on your heart. So here's your quick win. Instead of reaching for a can of soup for lunch, try making a simple soup at home using a low-sodium broth and fresh veggies. Or if you're buying canned veggies, look for the low-sodium or no-salt added labels. Another easy swap? Use herbs, spices, lemon juice, or garlic to add flavor to your meals instead of just reaching for the salt shaker. This one little change can help keep your blood pressure in check and give your heart a break. And that leads me to my next point, which is probably the most overlooked one. I want to talk about sneaky sugars. You might be doing a great job avoiding sodas and desserts, but what about the foods labeled as healthy? The truth is, added sugars can hide in some surprising places. They're in things like flavored yogurts, granola bars, and even some fruit juices. And the American Heart Association warns that most of us are eating way more added sugar than we need. Here's why this matters for your heart. Excess sugar can lead to weight gain and diabetes, both of which are major risk factors for heart disease. Liquid sugars, like the ones in sweetened drinks, are especially bad because they don't make you feel full, so you just keep consuming them without realizing it. So, what can you do? Instead of grabbing a sugary granola bar, opt for some nuts or a piece of whole fruit. Instead of a flavored yogurt, just get a plain one and add your own fresh fruit or a drizzle of honey. It's a simple change, but by cutting down on these hidden sugars, you save calories and avoid those blood sugar spikes that can be so hard on your arteries. Now let's tackle another big misconception. You might have heard that eggs are bad for your heart because they contain cholesterol. Well, for most healthy people, that's not the case. The cholesterol in egg yolks has a much smaller effect on your blood cholesterol than the saturated and trans fats you eat. In fact, for a healthy person, eating one egg a day is generally considered safe. The real problem often comes from what we eat with the eggs. Think bacon, sausage, or cooking them in a ton of butter. This really reminds me of a client I worked with. Let's call her Jane. She was so worried about her cholesterol that she had completely cut out eggs from her diet, but she was still struggling. We looked at what she was eating for breakfast, and it was a bunch of packaged pastries and sugary cereals. When she swapped those out for a couple of boiled or poached eggs with some fresh veggies on the side, her breakfast became a lot more satisfying and heart healthy. If you're concerned about your cholesterol, you don't have to swear off eggs. Just try to avoid frying them in butter and pair them with veggies instead of high-fat meats. If you have existing high cholesterol or diabetes, it's always a good idea to chat with your doctor, but for most of us, eggs are a great source of protein. Finally, I want to talk about a group of foods you really want to limit: processed and fried snacks. I'm talking about things like French fries, donuts, cookies, and microwave popcorn. The problem with a lot of these is that they're loaded with harmful trans fats. Even a small amount of trans fat can harm your cholesterol levels and cause inflammation in your arteries, making heart attacks and strokes more likely. So, what's a good swap? It's simple. Instead of fried chips or donuts, try air-popped popcorn, nuts, or baked whole grain crackers. If you want to use a spread, choose a soft tub margarine or olive oil spread without hydrogenated oils instead of stick margarine. You can cook with heart-healthy oils like olive or canola oil instead of solid shortening or butter. These simple swaps can make a world of difference for your heart. All right, let's recap the key takeaways for you. First, remember that not all fats are bad. Embrace healthy fats from sources like olive oil and avocados, and just limit the saturated and trans fats. Second, watch out for hidden salt and sugars in processed and packaged foods. Always read those food labels. Third, eggs are generally a healthy protein source. Just be mindful of how you cook them and what you eat with them. Finally, you can make simple, healthy swaps today, like choosing fresh or low-sodium foods and air-popped popcorn instead of fried snacks. Out of all these tips, which one are you excited to try first? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on living a heart-healthy life. Thanks for watching.